Hello and a very warm welcome to the Team Talk here from Easter Road. It's another important afternoon in Leith as Hibs take on St Mirren in the Scottish Premiership. David Gray's side return to home soil, looking to bounce back from a disappointment in midweek and continue what's been an excellent run of form at home here at Easter Road. St Mirren, on the other hand, well, they're fighting at the wrong end of the table and we're looking for a reaction themselves. So we've got all the pre-match build-up coming your way with kick-off at 3 p.m. Yes, hello, a very warm welcome to the Team Talk live here from Easter Road. My name's Gavin Rittoo, and who else to be spending Valentine's Day with than Yogi Hughes. Yogi, how are you?
I'm doing well. A little bit disappointed, obviously, from the result midweek, but you just got on with it.
Yeah, it is obviously, we've got plenty to cover on the show, but we'll start with the derby in midweek. Very disappointing. As you said, a sucker punch at the end, yeah.
The result was disappointing. I felt the performance, I don't think it was a great football match. Two teams try to cancel each other out. Hibs probably the better football team. And sometimes doing that, it doesn't guarantee you get the result. So really disappointing in the result, but performance and the effort and commitment, yeah, that's acceptable.
How, from your perspective, because you'd been in that situation before, how do you lift the team after a disappointing result like that?
It's our job, it's the fans, it's the supporters' job. You cannot get caught up in a narrative of Hibs are not doing well. Hibs are doing exceptionally well. It's been a long, tough season. And if you really do delve in and do your homework, the injuries that Hibs have had to vital players, just name two, Mulligan, Hanley, Cadden, Obita, well, that's naming more than two, but injuries, it plays a massive part. New boys have come in, you have to give them time to settle. You don't always hit the ground running. What I've seen of the new boys, I think, yeah, every one of them looks like they've got something. And it's just a matter of getting back to winning ways as quick as possible.
Yeah, definitely. And from your time in management then, after a disappointing result, just in general, how would you go about lifting the team? How does it work in kind of behind the scenes in the dressing room?
Well, first and foremost, we're talking about the new players, what that does for the dressing room. That gives the dressing room a lift. There's competition for places. You make sure you're in the team. Also, there's a negative to it because if you're bringing new players in and putting them in the team and they're not winning, the ones that are not getting a game, they're a little bit disappointed. That gives them the right to bang on your door. So it's, as a coach and a manager, you have to make sure that you're trying to look after everyone. But it's getting back to winning ways, the way you train, the desire and the commitment. And I've mentioned many a time, there'll be a leadership group in that dressing room that'll put the demands and the standards on the team. Let's get back to winning ways today.
Yeah, definitely. We're just seeing some of the Hibs chances from midweek against Hearts. As you said, sometimes football, it could be a cruel game at times. Maybe didn't get what we deserve from the game, but in the derby this season, it's safe to say it's probably been nothing between the teams in all three of the games, but to concede so late must be really disappointing from the manager's side of things.
Yeah, when I was watching the game, you're sort of getting to that stage of the game and you're saying to yourself, it's only got to be one goal that's got to win the game. You're hoping it's got to go Hibs' way. And it was just, across in the box and, we were a little bit, so we were sleeping a little bit in the middle and good enough finish. You have to take your hat off to them, you have to respect what they're doing, but you sit back and you look at the performance, going to Tynecastle, them riding high. Every chance that Hibs could have come away with the 3 points here, but it wasn't to be. So you have to take it on the chin and move forward.
Yeah, and speaking of moving forward, the game's come thick and fast. St Mirren here at Easter Road. It's a lovely sunny day for once.
Sunshine on Leith.
How do you see this one going today?
Well, the last time we were at Easter Road, it was a 1-1 draw. Then we went to Paisley, we beat them 3-0. St Mirren are struggling a wee bit at the moment. They've had a good season winning the cup, but they're struggling for league form. Always a difficult team to play against. There's a physicality to them. There's a real doggedness to them in terms of their shape. They don't really come out their shape much. And it's up to Hibs to go and break them down. I'm looking for today to get right back to winning ways, play with a real intensity and put a statement that, there you go, there's a 3 point staying in Leith.
Yeah, I'm sure all Hibs fans, everyone associated with the club, will be hoping to get back to winning ways, including the Hibs manager, David Gray, and I caught up with him earlier this week. Dave, we're speaking ahead of this weekend's fixture with St Mirren, a quick turnaround between games. What's the reaction been like in training after a disappointing result in midweek?
As you can imagine, extremely tough to take, so the players were obviously very disappointed. I think what you said there at the start is a quick turnaround. I think that's a really good thing. The opportunity to get back at home, where our home form's been really good, an opportunity to try and put it right, and I think that's been the message and the full focus this week.
Yeah, you mentioned our home form unbeaten in our last 6 games, and over the last kind of 14 months or so, very rarely defeated at Easter Road. What do you put that down to?
It's a level of performance. It's I think, as you've just said, I think it was 2 defeats. I think Rangers and Celtic at home, which shows in the league campaign that is obviously our form has been good. That doesn't happen by accident. You need to keep. It doesn't mean we can just turn up and win this weekend. It'll be a really tough game. St Mirren are always a tough team to play against. But it is about us. It's about focusing on that reaction and using that disappointment and that feeling to make sure you're coming after the game with no regrets and making sure you're not feeling that way again.
What do you expect from St Mirren then? Because they've been a little bit up and down this season.
Yeah, well, as I've just said, it will be a really tough game to prepare the players for a physical challenge. It always is. Very well organised, very well coached team that we know what we're going to face. So we need to make sure the players are aware of that. They're off the back of a disappointing result themselves, so they'll be looking for that reaction, so we need to guard against that as well. But as I said, the full focus has to be on us. It has to be on bouncing back as quick as we can and making sure that we start winning games of football more consistently. We're very capable of doing it, and until nothing's going to change, we need to keep moving forward. We need to keep trying to catch that team in front of us, and we've got an opportunity at home to try and do that.
How are we looking team news wise? I know we had a few bumps and bruises in the derby.
Yeah, I think the only one that really, as you say, a few bumps and bruises as you would expect, with a quick turnaround, but Gara obviously came off with his ankle. We're hoping it's not too serious. He has reacted really well. We'll just see how he goes, but the positive news for that obviously is Warren got some minutes and also some time on the grass. He's been training again since. So the group is getting a wee bit healthier. The only one that's obviously going to miss out potentially would be Gara. We'll just see how he goes, but there's nobody else coming back. So the benefit to that is you've had more minutes into Jamie coming back, Warren, and the new players getting some more minutes on the pitch as well, and some more minutes on the grass. So I think we are moving in the right direction, but it's about now the result of the weekend.
Nice, so Dave, appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Yes, that was the pre-match thoughts from David Gray speaking to Hibs TV yesterday. Yogi, the gaffer mentioned our home form in particular. It's been really strong of late, and it'll be something that we'll be counting on between now and the end of the season.
It's been exceptional. I think it's only Celtic Rangers have come here and won. Of late, it's been exceptional. We need to keep that going. That's imperative that you make your home form very, very good and turn this place into a fortress. I was talking about supporters. They play a massive part in that. Sitting here, it's a great atmosphere. They get right behind the team. And that's what I'm saying about the narrative about getting beat where we are in the league. Don't beat ourselves. We know where we are. We know what we're doing. Get right behind the team because the boys are gaining everything that they've got. And, with that home for them and the way I see Hibs going, no this year, but maybe next year, there's silverware coming back to Easter Road. You just feel it. I feel it in my bones.
You mentioned the home form. It's been 2 defeats in our last 24 in the league.
Is that right?
Yeah. As you mentioned, only Celtic and Rangers have come here and won in the last 14 months or so. What do you put that down to? You mentioned the supporters. What else do you put that down to?
It's just the atmosphere, what's created at this football club, far removed from the Easter Road in my time. They make a noise, you get right behind the team. And I think the players respond to that. I think that they feel comfortable at home. They play some right good football. And you're seeing that in the results. So long may that continue. It's not always easy because teams will know. You'll get St Mirren come in here and they'll know that Hibs are always on the front foot at home and they set it up hard to beat. And when they're set up hard to beat, you try to win the game, you go a little bit more expansive, and that sometimes leads to a little bit leaving yourself wide open.
The gaffer also mentioned a message that he's kind of consistently stuck by is always trying to catch that team in front of us. 7 games to go now between now and the split. 3 of them are at home, 4 of them away. I imagine it's a case of very much still Motherwell, that 4th spot still within our sight, and hoping to achieve European football between now and the end of the season.
Yeah, 100%. You mentioned the last thing you mentioned there, European football. That's imperative to, especially the good times we had at the start of this season. Although I do think it took a lot out of the players. But you want in that game, you always want European football at Easter Road. Catch Motherwell's got to be very difficult, but it's keeping in the present. You just take one game at a time, take care of business. You were talked about the home forum, that's not a guarantee. You just make sure you're taking care of business. This time of the year, you know, everybody's got under pressure. Are you fighting relegation? Are you going for the league? Are you going for the European spots? How you handle that? And if we can get one or two players back for injury, then I think we're in a right good place. I says to you, you're not taking me up on it in terms of silverware, no, this year, next year. The reason I'm saying that, I just get the vibe for what's going on, the recruitment, the players that we've got at the club, how we can go and play football. You need a little bit of luck, but I just think if we can keep that together, you know, get right behind the team, keep doing what we're doing, I'm seeing real good signs at Easter Road. That the signs that I'm seeing at Easter Road are signs that, you know, if we can keep that going and stick together and carry a little bit of luck, that's good enough to get silverware at this.
Yeah, definitely. It's
Definitely.
about finding that consistency as
Plus,
well.
Gavin, this might sound strange to the supporters, especially when you're seeing what's happening over the other side of the city, that they're going for the league. Why no Hibs? Why no Hibs? Right, we take that and you have to respect that, but you have to say to yourself, well, we're a better team than them, how no us? So that's what we were talking about, a leadership group. Why is that not in the dressing room and saying, hey, hold it 1 minute, you were talking about our home forum. Or it's all there, it's just about putting it together.
Putting it all together, yeah.
100% and having that belief and saying, listen, we stand together and we're going out there every game, we're more than capable. I've said many a time, I'm watching the Hibs team now, home and away, they're capable of winning any football match.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely capable of winning any football match, including today. St Mirren are the visitors. Kick-off is from 3 p.m. later this afternoon. Right, we're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to hear from Rocky Bashiri, who spoke to the media earlier this week. Back in a couple of minutes.
Shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
Hello, welcome back to the Team Talk here from Easter Road. Hibs take on St Mirren later on this afternoon. And today, well, there's plenty going on around the stadium. It's a Hibs Kids fixture as well. And the fixture is also part of our Football versus Homophobia campaign, which is led on by our Hibees Pride group. And I'm delighted to be joined by Chloe from the Hibees Pride Group. Chloe, how are you?
I'm alright, how are you?
Yes, good. It's great to have you on again. I know you're here a couple of seasons ago. I think it was with Lewis Miller as well.
Yeah, out of his element in the cold, I think, unfortunately.
No, it's great to have you here, and it's it's great to be doing this again, the Football versus Homophobia campaign, and spreading that really important message. Can you just tell us a little bit about the campaign from your perspective?
Yeah, certainly. So Football versus Homophobia is an annual initiative by the group Football versus Homophobia, which focuses on challenging discrimination and homophobia within sport, and obviously in this context football in particular, and it focuses on community building and education and just making sure that there is a strong and consistent communication and presence of LGBT talent and footballers and community and supporters. And we as Hibees Pride, we are here to be visible. We've got we've been communicating with yourselves to remain talking about this, and it's an important conversation to keep going, and it's an important connection to keep with the club as well. So we're joining other clubs obviously all across the country as well who do similar activations with Football versus Homophobia, and it's still going strong, and it's still a great campaign to be involved in, and it's a pleasure to be involved with it and to represent a really, really great organisation. Yeah,
for sure, and you touched on a lot of important messages there. How important is it that we do support and recognise these campaigns, because they do spread a really important message?
It does, certainly, yeah, because homophobia in football is something that has never, it's gone through stages in severity, I would say. I think a lot of people are still very conscious about like coming out in football or being open in football, whether that's as a player or as a supporter. And there's a lot of stigma still around that, and there's a lot of assumptions of, oh, why does this need to be involved in football at all? Why does this need to be a thing? And the very fact that that's a question in itself is why we need to be here. Like, there's still a lot of aggression, and there's a big lack of real, yes, this is who people are, this is why we're here. And football is an inherently community driven and multicultural institution. Like, there's so many people that come from all walks of life, and everyone deserves to have a spot at the table. Everyone deserves to be involved. Like, why limit your community? Why limit talent? Why reduce it to such a fine margin? So it's definitely why I'm really passionate about it, and why Hibees Pride are still so keen to keep going and keep talking about this and still be a visible presence about this. Yeah,
and it's about, as you said, spreading that message that football is for everyone. You touched upon the Hibees Pride group. Can you just tell us a little bit about your involvement with that and the group itself, because it's now very well established within the supporter groups and doing some great work?
Yeah, we've been going for quite a while now, about 4 or 5 years, and we're still the same group of people. So we've really bonded, and we're really proud of the work that we've done and the things that we've been able to do and the people that we've been able to meet. And even just a couple of years ago when we went on a Pride March, just having people recognise our flag and coming out to talk to us, and just being able to really engage with people in ways that we never really thought we could. So just the fact that we're able to do that, and that's still something that happens even now, is an immense achievement, and we're really, really proud of what we've done. And again, the people that we've met as well, there's a great community for the LGBT community around football and in sport, and like with Football versus Homophobia and Leap Sports and all these amazing people who work so hard to build these connections and build that confidence within a community that's not necessarily been welcomed explicitly before. And there's still a long way to go in a lot of aspects, but for what we ourselves have done and what we've been involved with, we can say for sure that we're very proud of ourselves, and we're proud of everyone that we've been involved with. Yeah, definitely. And just on the Football versus Homophobia campaign, there's obviously match day activations today against St Mirren, so you'll see the branding on the screen, your involvement in the pre-match show, social media stuff, all that kind of stuff, and there's also involvement with the women's game later on this month as well. Yes, right? There is, yes, for the Aberdeen game. So that'll be this game and the Aberdeen game are the two dedicated Football versus Homophobia activation days for the organisation. So they'll be the ones that are the main focus, where we talk about this and we say as a visual reminder, more like, so people will attend, they'll see our logo, they'll see hopefully me talking about this, and just kind of a reminder as well, because we've been quite consistent with it as well, and it's something that we're really keen to keep being consistent with, because it's a great way to engage with people as well. Yeah, definitely. And
I know we've got a few more things to get through on the show, but it is really great having you on, Chloe. How do you see, just on the pitch, how do you see the game going today? I know, because I know you're a big Hibs fan as well.
Yeah. I think that Hibs will want to really just pick themselves up and prove themselves today. We've got a really good physical squad. We've got some really promising new signings, and there's a good. I know it's been a hit and miss season at points, but there's a great energy around the club, and seeing new signings come in. It's always exciting seeing people come in and making such an impact as well. So I think they've just got to go out there and just prove themselves, and I'm sure they'll get on all right, which may date itself, but you know what, I believe.
And if I was going to press you for a score prediction, what would you go with?
2-1.
2-1.
Okay, I'll be modest.
Always a popular score, right? Okay. Chloe, thank you so much for joining us. Time to continue our build up to St Mirren game, and here's a reminder of the last time we played St Mirren, which was away back in November.
Steaming in, and here's the chance, and that's the opening goal this time. Josh Mulligan smashes it home. St Mirren give the ball away, and Hibs make them pay. 1-0. Could come here for a second, and it does for Chris Cadden. Shaiwa is deflected, and that's going to go in. That should be game, set and match. Shaiwa celebrating. St Mirren 0, Hibernian 3.
Yes, 3-0 it finished in Paisley the last time we played St Mirren. Yogi, it was a brilliant away performance, one of our best performances on the season, and we definitely got what we deserved.
Yeah, hopefully we get the same today. You know, always going to Paisley, very, very difficult. But to go there and score 3 goals, absolutely fantastic. And if we can do that today, you know, that'd be very acceptable, it'd be very good. You have to score goals to win games, but it's keeping the back door shut as well, clean sheets, and you don't get beat. So that was a perfect performance.
Yeah, what have you made of St Mirren this season? Because they've had some exceptional highs, obviously winning the League Cup, beating Celtic in the final, but they're probably not as consistent as they would want to be, because they've been in the top 6 the last couple of seasons as well. So and they're down, I think, 9th, 10th at the moment. So they have been a bit inconsistent.
That's it. It's consistency, and you're just wondering, having won the League Cup, if they took their foot off the gas, thinking the job's done. You know, they'll recognise they're in a relegation battle. They'll be disappointed, and they'll be trying to get back to winning ways. This is a real dangerous game. They've got 1 or 2 real good players, as I say, always a physicality, and we have to be at our best to go and win the football match. But you're expecting that. You're expecting Hibs to be here. We talked about the home forum. Come here and make sure that St Mirren know they're in the game. Don't sit back off them, go and get after them and take the game to them.
Can that, from your time in management, can that often be almost more challenging when you're up against a team who is fighting for their survival in the division, because they've got that bit between their teeth, and they know they're going to be scrapping for every point?
Yeah, that's exactly it. But if I'm in the Hibs dressing room, I'm saying to myself, we're coming off a defeat against Hearts in the derby match. You know, we need to get back to winning ways. That enough for my team should stimulate them enough to go out and do the business. But you're up against, as you say, you're up against a St Mirren side that I don't think they'll come out and play total expansive football. They'll sit in there, they'll be hard to beat. We've mentioned it, a physicality, they're good at set pieces, and it's up to Hibs to go and break them down. And that's a challenge. I think we've got players that can go and do it.
Yeah. From that, the VT that we just watched, obviously 3-0 in Paisley. A lot has changed since then in terms of personnel, and we touched upon the new signings a little bit earlier on in the programme. What have you made of them in particular and how they've settled into the team?
Well, I've not seen too much of them, you know, and I've sort of been flung right into the fire. I've seen some of them against Dundee United, very impressed with every one of them. You're saying, yeah, I like that wee bit, I like that. It's got to take them time to settle. Then they get put right into the derby match. Always difficult. It's difficult even for a seasoned professional, you know, to play in a derby match. The emotions of what's going through. But what I'm seeing is it's very, very good. You know, I link everything. The striker up front for Tottenham.
Dave Scarlett,
Scarlett, he looks like he's got a little bit. And then I'm looking at the right back against Dundee United in the first half. He got booked, they had a hard time. But from a professional eye watching him, and I'm saying to myself, he's got to be a very, very, you can tell with just the way he moves, gets on the ball up and down.
Yeah.
He's going to be a real good asset to the football club.
Yeah, Felix Paslak, you're on about there. Yeah, I was speaking to him when he signed it, and he comes with real pedigree as well. Obviously came through at Dortmund. And
Gavin, he's a player. Trust me, you can just tell with that. Being in the game, you can just go, he's a player. Had a wee bit of hard time against Dundee United, but you're saying, he's a player. Andrews in midfield, very good, wants to go on it for one so young, want to go on the ball, make it happen. Big boy come on at the end, scored his goal against
Soto.
Soto looks like he's got a physical presence about him. David's problem is how do I get them all in the team?
Exactly.
A great problem to have, but as I say, it can also work the other way. If players are not in the team, you know, and their body language and are in the huff, you know, it's your job to make sure that, you know, you give them a wee shot at it and you keep the whole place vibrant and keep it moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. Well, there were 6 new signings that joined in January, but one of the more established players in the team is Rocky Bashiri, and he was on media duties earlier this week.
In terms of the other night, how the players responded, how disappointed was it? What was the dressing room?
No, really disappointed. Players were hurt, of course, as it should. But you know, football, we are already match day -1, so you have to move on quicker, and that's what we're trying to do. Put a positive result tomorrow.
Does it help that there's game after game after game at the moment in terms of whether you are, you know, having a good run or a bad run? You've got, you know, time to reverse that bad one.
Yeah, because the opportunity comes faster, so it's you have a new opportunity to put things right. It's difficult after a derby, of course, but you have a new chance to have 3 points at home, and that's a good.
Yes, that was Rocky Bashiri on media duties earlier this week. Yogi, a very popular figure in the dressing room is Rocky. What have you made of his performances this season? And he's a brilliant player to have in and around the squad, particularly for bringing and embedding the new players in as well.
Outstanding, absolutely outstanding what he's done, you know. As you say, going away back to last year when we were down and out, first time David Gray played 5 at the back, Big Rocky got the equaliser against Aberdeen, and then he's never come back at the team since then. You know he's in the game, wears his hearts on his sleeve, become a fan's favourite, cult hero, and you know why? Because he's passionate. You get the impression he really wants to play for the football club. And just getting to know him and talking to 1 or 2 other players about the dressing room, he says he's absolutely fantastic in the dressing room. He's a leader.
Yeah, definitely. He was actually saying in his press, he was saying that he can speak 5 different languages. So he'll speak to Felix in German, he'll speak to Ellie in French, he can speak Flemish, Dutch, English as well. So
I'm struggling to speak English. A big centre half is educated as much as that.
Yeah. So, but in terms of when we talk about the new signings
misspent
coming
youth, that is called misspent youth.
In terms of the new signings coming in, though, he's a really beneficial player to have because he can immediately he can speak the different language.
Gavin, we're down the Hibs bus, and that's the first time I met Rocky. Instantly after 5 minutes, you're going to say a real genuine, honest, authentic guy. Simple as that. After 5 minutes, just talking to him, he wasn't above his station. He was grounded. And then, as you say, bringing all the players in, and Big Rocky will be the first one that, you know, in round about them, showing about the city, and looking after them. That is called leadership. And Big Rocky's got that.
Yeah, definitely. Just on Rocky and his position, because he's played in that he plays in that back three, and he's played in the centre of it. He's also played on the right centre back of it. Where do you think his best position is from? Because obviously you're a centre half yourself. What do you think?
I think Rocky, with the pace that he's got, and I think it's the right centre half. I think that if you put Big Grant Hanley on the right centre half, sometimes when your fullback's away forward, it's your job on the right. You have to go. Rocky's got the legs to go and do that. I'm not too sure if Big Grant's got the legs to do that. Mm-hmm. He's more like that magnet in the middle, you know, reads the game and let them go and do all that stuff. So Big Rocky, but there again, you know what you're going to get, no matter where he plays. He gives you everything he's got. And another thing, he's come up with some real important goals. Big goals, so all credit to him.
Yeah, fingers crossed that we can see another big performance from Rocky later today. I'm afraid that's all we got time for, Yogi, but before we go, I know you love your score predictions. We've had 2-1 from Chloe. What are you going with? How do you see it panning out?
Oh, sorry, Chloe, I'm going for 2-0 Hibs.
2-0 Hibs.
2-0
okay.
Hibs.
Well, Yogi's saying 2-0 Hibs. Chloe is saying 2-1 Hibs. Let us know on X and on Instagram what your score predictions are. I'm afraid that's all we've got time for. Thank you very much for Yogi for joining us, and for Chloe from the Hibees Pride Group as well. I'm afraid that's all we got time for. Thank you very much for watching, and time to pass you over to our commentary team of Dan Bowers and Yogi Hughes.
Shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.